Hello friends, thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Welcome to day 20 of Bookmas, and for this video I'm going to be talking about books I'm excited for in 2024, and these are ones that come out in 2024. So we're going to go ahead and get started. A lot of these I don't know a whole lot about the authors or the books. I just know like the blurb of what the book's about. But the first one would always be on my list. It is The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo, because I will read just about anything she writes because I love her writing so much. So definitely that's going to be on my list. I'm very excited for that one. I think it's going to be really, I don't really know a lot about it so far, but I'm very curious because anything she writes is incredible. And these are just ones that I looked up what was coming out in 2024 with this list. So the next one is A Letter to the Luminous Deep by Sylvie Catherall. I think that's how you pronounce that. And if any of these books or authors on this list, if you've read any of them and you liked them or didn't like them, feel free to let me know in the comments. That way I know more about the authors I will be looking into reading. So that would be really nice. Next one is The Fortune Seller by Rachel Capel-Dale. This one just sounded really interesting when I read the premise of it. So hoping that that's a good one. And a lot of these also is remember that I'm a mood reader, so these will vary throughout the year, I'm sure. Another one is Such a Lovely Family by Aggie Blum Thompson. This one seemed really interesting. Very mysterious and very, what's the word? Just a very mysterious and interesting premise when I read about it. So I'm curious to see how that one is. Like It Never Happened by Jeff Hoffman. Another author I had never heard about, but it also seemed interesting, the premise of it. Next one is The Perfumist of Paris by Alka Joshi? I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Sorry if I'm not. And then the last one on this list so far is One of Us Knows by Alyssa Cole, which I feel like I've heard of her books before. I feel like I've heard her name before somewhere. But I'm also going to add some books from my Goodreads TBR since that list was a little short. These are already out, but there are more books I want to read in 2024. So I'm going to also add those to this list as well, just because I feel like that's not enough content, so to give you guys. So some other books I really want to read in 2024 is The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. I've heard so much about this book for many years now, and I really did like The Night Circus a lot. I need to reread it because it's been a little while, but I would love to read. I started reading The Starless Sea, I will say, at some point last year, and I was really confused at first, but it was also my first book of hers that I'd ever read, so I just needed some time, I guess, to get into the world building, but it was very interesting, so I'm hoping to read that one next year. Another one I really want to read is Babel, or Babel, however you pronounce that, by R.F. Kuang. That one I've heard a lot about too, and how good it is, so very intrigued to read that one. Let's see. What are some other ones that I really want to read? I really want to get more into fairy tale retelling books, because I've read some that I loved, and I don't know, there's some other ones I didn't love so much. We all know how I can't talk. We all know how I feel about Conceal Don't Feel. Not for me. Didn't like it at all. So I want to be careful about which ones I read, just because you never know. But another one of retelling that I would love to read is Darling Girl by Liz Mikoski. I'm not pronouncing that right. This is a Peter Pan retelling, which sounds really interesting to me. So that's definitely one of them. And then, oh, okay. And then The Last Tale of the Flower Bride, which I recently got on my Kindle, and I'm very curious to jump into that one and read that one because I've heard so much about it. And there's a TV show with Alicia Debnam Carey that came out on Amazon Prime, I believe. And it looks really interesting, so I'm very curious to see that. But I want to read the book first, so that'll be on the list for sure. And if anyone's read that book or you've seen the show, please let me know what you think in the comments down below. I'd be very curious to see some of the thoughts on it. And that'll be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you tomorrow for day 21 of Bookmas. Love you so much.